Hey, sweet faces. I know that we are in the stick with this two-digit multiplication, right? And some of you did not feel super confident in class. So I had promised a few of you that I would make a mini lesson video so that you could go through the steps. You can watch this video as many times as you want. You can pause it and look and see what's on the screen. You can rewatch it, and this should help you get the steps a little bit better. Okay, so remember with multiplication, we have two options, right? We have traditional and we have box. And we have two options because everyone's brain works differently. And we want to make sure that we are honoring that and we're working with the strategy that works best for us. So I'm going to walk you through traditional. Again, traditional is stacking. And then I'm going to walk you through box. And I'm going to give you a couple of problems that you can try as well. And what I'll suggest that you do is when you get to those problems, I'm going to walk you through how to set it up. I would pause the video, give it a try, and then unpause it if you want to see if you've got it. If you'd rather watch me walk it through step by step, absolutely watch the video however you want, but just know that that is an option that I would suggest. Okay, so let's get started. When we're doing traditional, you guys did beautiful when we had one-digit multipliers on the bottom. When we have that second digit, it gets a little bit tricky, okay? So what I suggest you do is when you're doing it at first, we're going to ignore this tens place because we need to make sure that that 4 gets both of its turns before we move over to the tens place, right? So ignore your tens place. We're focusing on the 4 and we're going to keep our motions in the same order. So this is what it looks like. We need to think, what is 4 times 5? We know that 4 times 5 is 20. So we write our 0 down in our answer and we carry our 2. Just like adding, right? We write down the ones place, we carry the tens place. It is still the 4's turn. We are still ignoring the 2, pretending it is not there. Once we have this, we continue with the 4. We give it its second turn. What is 4 times 1? 4 times 1 is 4. Add 2 is 6. Notice how I have this written that this is the ones place because everything we did here was for the 4, which is in the ones place. Now, when we did one-digit multipliers, that was it. That was the end of our answer, right? But we have 2 digits. So what I want you to do now is if you have any carries, cross it out because that was for the ones place and we are moving on to the tens place. Now to show that the ones place is done, we have to put in our place saving 0 because remember, when we close out the ones place and we step to the tens place, that's not really 2 times 5. That's 20 times 5 because that 2 is in the tens place. We know that if we pulled this out like expanded form, it would be 20 and 4. So when we put this place saving 0 in, this says, okay, the ones place is done. We can now ignore the 4. We're sliding to the tens place. This second row is going to be the tens place. All of our answers for that 2 are going to go in this row. So we move over to our 2 and we're thinking, what is 2 times 5? 2 times 5 is 10. I write down my 0. I carry my 10. Still working on the 2's place. 2 times 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Add 1 is 3. This is our tens place. Notice that we went in the same order. When we multiplied, it still went 5 and then 1. It does not matter what digit you're working on. The 5 is always going to go first. The 1 is always going to go second, right? We start with the ones place and then over to the tens place. Once I have my ones place row and my tens place row, now I need to put these two together. I'm going to stack and add them, making sure that my place values are matched. 0 plus 0 is 0. 6 plus 0 is 6. 3 plus nothing is 3. That gives me 360. All right, friends, let's take a look at an example. So if we have 25 times 43, I'm going to first stack them. Remember, with multiplying, just like addition, these are called inverse. We can flip them either way, and we're still going to get the same answer. 25 times 43 is the same as 43 times 25. So if it makes sense to you to put the bigger number on top, I know that some of you prefer that. That is absolutely fine, okay? So I'm going to stack these again. I could do 25 on the top, or I can do 43 on the top, and I'm going to color code my bottom numbers. so that you can really see what we're doing. Okay? We'll do that. All right. And we need our multiplication sign. So if you want to try this on your own, pause the video right here. Go ahead and solve it and then press play again. If you want to watch me go through it, here we go. We're multiplying first by the ones place. Remember, we're going to have our ones row over here. So we start with the 3. 3 times 5 is 15. I write down my 5. I carry my 10. Moving over, 3 times 2 is 6. Add 1 is 7. Okay, we have 75. We've now given both numbers a turn with the 3. So I'm going to erase what I've marked up because I am closing out the ones place and I am now moving over to the tens place. So I'm going to change my number. Now, remember, when I close out that ones place, that's where this place saving 0 comes from. That 0 says, okay, the ones are done. I'm moving over to the tens place, and now I'm doing 40 times 5. But because I put that 0 place saver in, that tells me that all I need to do is think it through. 4 times 5 is 20. Drop my 0, carry my 2. 4 times 2 is 8. Add 2 is 10. Now I've run out of room a little bit here. So we have our ones place is 75. Our tens place is 1,000. I am going to erase this real quick so I can move it up. Again, we have 75 in the ones place, and we have 1,000 in the tens place. Making sure that we match our place value. So 75 plus 1,000. 5 plus 0 is 5. 7 plus 0 is 7. Nothing above and 0. Nothing above, it's 1. 1,075. All right, loves, let's take a look at another example. We have 37 times 26. Again, I'm going to mark these up in different colors so that we can see the steps a little bit better. And we need to have our multiplication sign. And there we go. Starting with the ones place again. We're starting with the 6. 6 times 7 is 42. I know our 7s are hard. We need to keep practicing them. 6 times 7 is 42. Drop my 2, carry my 4. Moving over. The 6 has to have both of its turns. 6 times 3 is 18. Add 4 is 22. This is my ones place. I have given our 6 a turn with both numbers. So that means that I can now close my ones place. And I show that by putting my place saving 0 to start out my tens row. Moving over to my 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Drop my 4, carry my 1. 2 times 3 is 6. Add 1 is 7. I stack. I add. 2 plus 0 is 2. 2 plus 4 is 6. 2 plus 7 is 9. Our final answer is 962. We have one more example for this, and then we are going to pop over and take a look at box multiplication. Remember, if this is a little sticky for you, you have options. You could try it this way. You can continue to watch the video to help you review it in box method, and then you can decide maybe that one works better for you. I suggest using the box method if you have trouble with the bigger multiplication, and also if you get a little bit stuck when we are adding our place saving 0, because in the box method, we don't have to remember the place saving 0 because we're pulling our problem apart into those 4 questions. Okay, so if you want to try this one, go ahead and stop your video, give it a pause, work this out on a piece of paper, and then come back to go through it. If you want to watch it through, here we go. Starting in the ones place. 3 times 9 is 27. I write down my 7. I carry my 2. The 3 gets another turn. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 plus 2 is 14. This is my ones place. Everyone's had a turn. I'm going to close off my ones place by putting my place saving 0, closing my ones place, and starting my tens place. Moving over to the tens. 6 times 9 is 54. Write down your 4 and carry your 5. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 plus 5 is 29. We stack and add. run out of space a little bit again, so I'm going to bring this up top. 7 plus 0 is 7. 4 plus 4 is 8. 9 plus 1 is 10. I carry. 2 plus 1 is 3. This gives us a final answer of 3,887. Remember, if you have questions, bring them to class. I am always happy to walk through these with you, but I thought that this would be a good opportunity for you to review this lesson, to come back to it at any point throughout the year and at any point where there's time in your schedule. This is going to be the end of traditional. If you want to see the box, if you want to know your options, let's take a walk through this as well. Remember, the difference between box multiplication and traditional multiplication is that we don't have to worry about our 2 rows. We don't have to worry about our place saving 0 because we take our numbers and we break them down into the 4 multiplication problems that we just did for traditional, right? We did 4 different pieces of multiplication. This just breaks it down into bite-sized pieces. So we're going to start off with using what we know about expanded form. And when we take 15 and 24 and we expand them, 15 becomes 10 and 5, 24 becomes 20 and 4. Once we've expanded them, now we're going to put them around our boxes. Remember, I can put the 10 and 5 on the top and the 20 on the 4 on the bottom, as long as my pairs stay together, right? The 10 and 5 have to be in the same spot and the 20 and 4 have to be in the same spot. But I can switch them because I can multiply or add my numbers in any order and it doesn't change my answer. So let's say I wanted to put the 20 and the 4 on the top and the 10 on the 5 on the side. That is absolutely fine. Now, some reminders. In this one, 20 and 4 are my up and down numbers. I'm going to use the 20 in the blue box and the pink box. I'm going to use the 4 in the purple box and the yellow box. They're my up and down numbers. I'm going to use the 10 and 5 as my side to side numbers. So 10 is going to be used in the blue box and the purple box, and 5 is going to be used in the pink box and the yellow box. And I wrote out where these numbers meet because that's where we have to multiply, right? We multiply where they meet. Notice we have 4 different multiplication problems. We're going to use our little reminder, drop our 0, find our fact, multiply, put the zeros back. These are my 4 multipliers in my boxes. So when I'm doing 20 times 10, it's really 2 times 1 is 2. I add 2 zeros, 1 from the 20 and 1 from the 10. Going across, 20 times 5 is 2 times 5 is 10. 20 has 1 0. That's where I get my 100. 40 times 10 is 4 times 1 is 4. I have 1 0 in 10. And then 4 times 5 is 20. There are no zeros. Just like with traditional, I stack and I add. So I'm taking my 200, my 100, my 40, and my 20. I stack them to add them up. I can add them in pieces, right? I could do 200 plus 100 is 300. And then I can add my 40 and get 340. And then I can add my 20 to get 360. If it makes it easier for you to pull it into pieces, absolutely do it. Sometimes this stack of 4 numbers can be a little bit intimidating. Pair them up until everyone is added, okay? That gives us a final answer of 360. Let's walk through 3 examples. Again, I'm going to set these up for you, and then if you prefer to pause this video, solve it, and then come back to see how you did, please do so. So up top, we have our problem, 47 times 63, and right here, you have your expanded form. I stretched it out for you, right? So 47 is 40 plus 7. 63 is 60 plus 3. I can put them on the top or the bottom. It does not matter. I'm going to put 40 and 7 here. Every number gets a box. I'm going to put 60 and 3 here. Close the window. Sorry, friends. All right, loves. Now we multiply where they meet. So my 40 is my up and down number. So I'm going to use it in blue and pink. My 7 is my up and down number. I'm going to use it in purple and yellow. 60 is side to side, so it's going to go in blue and purple. 3 is side to side. It's going to go in pink and yellow. If you want to pause here and try and do it start to finish, go ahead. If you want to watch me go through it, please keep listening. Drop our 0, find our fact, multiply, and put it back. We start with 4 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. We have 2 zeros. 7 times 6 is 42. We have 1 0. 4 times 3 is 12. We have 1 0. 7 times 3 is 21. We now have our 4 numbers that need to be added. I can do these as pairs or I can stack them. If I did them as pairs, I would start with the biggest number and go down to the smallest. So 2,400 or 2,400 plus 420 gives me 2,820 plus 120 gives me 2,940 plus 21 gives me 2,961. Again, all I did was add all of these numbers one at a time to get my final answer. All right, sweet faces, let's look at 2 more examples. Again, this is my problem, 86 times 23, or I'm sorry, 25. This is my problem stretched out. 86 is the same as 80 and 6. 25 is the same as 20 and 5. This time, just to show we can flip them, I'm going to put my first set on the side, and I'm going to put my second set on the top because it doesn't matter which one goes on top and which one goes on the side as long as our pairs are together. So 20 is my up and down number. It's blue and pink. 5 is my up and down number. It's purple and yellow. 80 is my side to side number. It's blue and purple. 6 is my side to side number. It's pink and yellow. Okay. We multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. I have 2 zeros. 5 times 8 is 40. I have 1 0. 2 times 6 is 12. I have 1 0. 5 times 6 is 30. These are my 4 numbers that I am going to now add up, stacking them in order from biggest to smallest. So I have 1,600 plus 400. When I add that, I get 2,000. I add my 120. When I add that, I get 2,120. I add my 30. I get 2,150. This is my final answer. Final answer, 2,150. Okay. Last example we're going to take a look at. Again, if you feel ready, I challenge you to pause your video here. See if you can do this start to finish. Can you set it up with your numbers outside of the box? Can you decide what is your up and down number and your side to side number? Can you multiply? Can you stack them and add them? And then press play and come back and watch me go through it and see how you did. Okay, loves? So let's go ahead and set this up. I'm going to put my 90 and 5 on the top. I'm going to put my 70 and 1 on the sides. And I have 90 as an up and down, 5 as an up and down. I have 70 as a side to side, and 1 as a side to side. Let's multiply. 9 times 7 is 63. I have 2 zeros. 5 times 7 is 35. I have 1 0. 9 times 1 is 9. I have 1 0. 5 times 1 is 5. These are the, oh, not the eraser. No, these are the 4 numbers that I am going to add one pair at a time to make sure that I don't miss anyone. 6,300 plus 350 gives me 6,650. Adding in a 90 gives me 6,740. Adding in my 5 gives me 6,745. That is the end of our review mini lesson. Again, If you prefer to use stacking, traditional, that's what I want you to practice with. If you prefer to use boxes, that's what I want you to practice with. And if you have questions, please bring them to class. Remember, kiddos, the only guarantee in math is we're going to make mistakes and we're going to make a lot of them, but that is how our brain makes connections to learn. So don't fear mistakes. We need them, right? This is a safe place for mistakes. You can do hard things. You prove it every day. I'll see you guys in class. Goodbye, my love.